Teresa, you were absolutely crazy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's my middle name. Crazy is actually my middle name, if you didn't know.
We could make it. You have no middle name, so we could, instead of Teresa Opedisano-Katu, we can make it Teresa Crazy Katu.
Teresa Crazy Katu.
Oof.
When I change my last name, I'll change my middle name to be Crazy.
Perfect. Wedding's coming up. Time for you to change that last name. But are you ready to get into today's stories?
I am, and surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. I'm sick.
Yes. You sound a little bit under the weather.
I look it too. If you're watching on YouTube, my condolences to you.
We're taking advantage of Teresa's sick day to bang out another episode and try to get a little bit ahead, build up a little bit of a gap before our wedding in May. So that's why we're pushing through it.
Yep. I'm fine to proceed, but my voice may sound a little manly.
And we might need to take a lot of breaks that you won't know because we're going to edit it out.
Because Denver is the best editor ever.
Oh, so much. Okay, let's get into these stories.
I'm actually excited. I have a lot of these are fun.
These are fun.
Stories.
This is going to be a crazy episode.
Yeah.
I found out my girlfriend shits in the shower. What do I do?
No, not another pooping one.
Maybe we'll leave that towards near the end of the episode.
Wait, is that the waffle stomping one?
Maybe. I'm not sure if it's the exact waffle stomping.
Okay.
I think it's a different one.
Damn, okay.
Yeah. And then I got, am I the asshole for blocking my parents after they pressured me to give up custody of my niece?
Damn.
So just some sample sizes for you guys to stick around. But I've got 10 stories. Teresa's got...
I have
7, and we'll rotate through them, and anything left over will go on to our weekly Patreon episode. But let's get into it. You want to go first?
Sure.
All right, let's go crazy.
All right. I, 31 male, am unsure how to feel about my girlfriend's 27 female bizarre hobby. Need advice. My girlfriend and I have been dating for just over a year. This sounds so cliche, but she is almost perfect for me. She is really into health and fitness, has an excellent career that she worked really hard for, is great in bed, kind and intelligent, but she lives in a basement suite which is nicely decorated and she keeps very clean. Any of you that have lived in a basement suite before know that no matter what you do, you get bugs. Ants, piddlebugs, beetles, and spiders. What is a piddlebug?
I don't know.
I don't want to know. I spent a fair amount of time at her place and noticed right away that there was a spider in almost every corner. I asked her about it and she told me she doesn't kill them because they eat the other bugs. Okay. I did some light research and sure enough, she was right. I found it a little creepy, but not a deal breaker. Here is where things get weird. About a week and a half ago, I was using her computer and noticed a spreadsheet called Babies. Curiosity got the best of me and I opened it. She lovingly named all of the spiders, kills the other bugs, and feeds them to the spiders, and keeps track of it all in a creepy rear-end spreadsheet. She keeps track of their food, their color, size, web size, and some other poo-poo that I didn't really understand. I closed the spreadsheet after I realized what it was about because I felt bad for snooping and was honestly pretty disturbed. I really love her and don't want to break up, but I'm afraid that this is a sign of a mental illness. Has anyone ever heard of anything like this before? Should I say something to her? Is it okay for me to ask her to stop? Is this really that big of a deal?
Oh, man. That is creepy. A little weird. I don't think so, though. Because people do this for a living. I don't think it's a mental illness. It's a hobby. People study animals, people study insects, scientists study those kinds of things. And then they would have all these notes and stuff. So it's like she's an aspiring scientist. So I would just say, hey, I mean, if it did progress, the thing that I find is weird is that she just lets them roam in her apartment, in the corners of her house and stuff.
She's living with the spiders.
Okay,
they are her roommates.
Yeah, but imagine the whole thing was the same, but the spiders were in a cage. They were in a glass odd thing.
Okay.
And you couldn't accidentally eat them while you slept. They were tucked away. She had a pet spider and then you find she has a spreadsheet for her pet spider. I don't think that's a mental health issue or an illness. I feel like she's like an aspiring scientist. Like, cool. It's like somebody who makes like little model rockets in their backyard, wants to be the next rocket engineer or whatever, rocket scientist. So I don't know. I don't think so. It's like a beige flag.
A beige flag. Okay. I don't think it's a sign of a mental illness either. I think it's just
an interesting hobby.
A little bit odd.
I find it a little bit odd that she just lets them live in the corner of her house. But hey, I mean, if not everybody is as creeped out by spiders as we are.
That is true.
Some people are used to it, so I don't know.
There's a couple edits that say, I know I'm a rear end and a top hat for snooping. And edit 2, we live in Australia.
Those could be some dangerous spiders. Those could be some big
Australia's
spiders.
Scary.
Well, what were we watching? We were watching the White Lotus episode, and they're in Thailand for season 3, and then they were talking about the snakes, and they're like, watch the snakes in the toilet bowls. And then I remember watching videos of the snakes that come up the pipes to the toilet. You go to sit down, get bit in the butt by a snake. No me piace. No thank you. Oh, that sounds terrifying.
I'm just imagining the size of these spiders because they're in Australia, that they're like 10 times bigger than anything we're used to in North America.
Teresa can't handle spiders. No.
I won't say that I have like an irrational fear. Like, what's the phobia called? Arachnophobia?
Yeah, you don't have that. You're just a little wuss.
Well, yeah. Most people, nobody likes to kill spiders.
Okay, but what, I have to do it.
Yeah, because you're less of a wuss between the two of us.
That's what I mean. Good thing you have me around.
There has to be one in the relationship, but it doesn't mean that you like it.
I don't.
Or that you're not afraid of spiders.
I am. But sometimes I don't crush them. Like the last time I held it in my hand, trying to like let it live.
You did do that. When was that? Oh my God.
I felt bad. I didn't want to kill it.
When we were changing Andrew's diaper.
Yeah, I felt bad. I didn't want to kill it.
On the bed, and it almost went on his face.
It was big.
It was huge, and Denver just like grabbed it like it was like a little chick, like a baby chick in his hand.
Didn't look like it was gonna bite me, and I felt bad because it was big. I felt bad for killing it, so I let it outside. I felt like good karma's coming my way because I saved that spider.
Yeah, it's not gonna rain.
Or maybe I'll get superpowers. Okay.
Top comment. I think the big takeaway from all this is that you should never kill a spider around her. Opie replies, no shit, hey? LOL.
No, that's actually a really good take. I never even thought about that. Because sometimes, like, it's just your instinct. You see a spider, you're like, you just kill it. Like you're at a restaurant or whatever, or like you're out on a picnic bench and something. You see a spider and you're like, you hit it. She would no longer be attracted to him if he did that.
So there's an update. So I took all of your advice and tried to embrace this part of her life. It was our anniversary last week, and I decided to get her a spider-themed gift. I was at the mall, and one thing led to another, and I ended up buying her a pet tarantula and an aquarium for it. She loved it, but I noticed the beloved spiders disappearing from around her apartment over the last few days. I asked her about it, and turns out she'd been killing them and feeding them to her new tarantula. I don't know how I feel about this. First, she is calling them babies, and now she is killing them. Arr. Arr. Sounds like a pirate. Arr. How do I say that?
I don't know.
I'm just trying not to think about it and hoping she doesn't find a better boyfriend to feed me to one day. LOL, oh well.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay, he's like, I wanted to get her a gift. I thought he was getting her a gift to like compliment the spiders, not just getting her a whole new spider.
What kind of gift do you get though?
I don't know.
That shows like, hey, I support this hobby of yours.
Oh, like a notebook, like a Spider-Man themed notebook or something.
Spider-Man is so different from loving spiders.
It's kind of close.
No, it's not. Not even remotely close.
Remotely, yes.
No.
I would say
0.
It's
0%.
It's Spider-Man has the word spider in it.
Okay.
So it's
has nothing to do with spiders.
Listen, if there was a percentage pie remotely close or not, it would be leaning more towards remotely close than not remotely close.
All I'm thinking about are like little boys and girls that love Spider-Man. And you're going to sit here and tell me that you think they all like spiders because they like Spider-Man?
No, but I'm just saying.
That's what I mean. There's no correlation.
The word spider. the word spider is. So, yeah, I don't know. I would have a fear though that one day I'm going to come home and the lid on the spider cage is going to be off and there's going to be a tarantula walk in anywhere, or I'm going to wake up and there's going to be a tarantula on my face.
Why do you say it like that?
Tarantula?
Tarantula.
I don't know.
Tarantula.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
Roll the tape.
Yeah, but he got it for her, so
I would still be afraid that
then he shouldn't have got it for her.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I could. There's two kinds of pets that I don't think I could get on board with. One
Snake.
is spiders and the other one is a snake.
Yeah.
My sister's boyfriend had a snake pet and I was chilling at his
Ex-boyfriend.
ex-boyfriend.
Should
Yeah,
specify.
ex-boyfriend, like back in high school. And I was chilling in his room because we were also friends because we rode motocross together. He was like, but I was at his house, whatever. I think we were going to go riding or something. And I'm sitting on his bed. I don't know what I'm doing. And then he's like, hey, Denver. And I look, it's a fucking snake 2 inches away from my face.
Jesus.
He has it like around his neck and stuff like that. I don't know. I freaked out. I ran away. He tried to like put it on me and I can't handle that. So if I was like if we started dating and you invited me into your room and you had a pet snake or a pet tarantula in a glass, I don't think I could do it. Like if you came home tomorrow and you're like, hey, I want to get a pet tarantula for the apartment, I don't think I could. I can't be on board with that.
That's fair.
I don't think I can handle that.
Now who's the little wuss now, though? You're eating your words. Crickets.
I feel like that's different.
Crickets. How is that different?
You're asking me to go kill the spider that shouldn't be in our apartment
Yeah.
versus whatever.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to you.
Okay, but before we move on, he doesn't care about the Excel spreadsheet anymore? Is he trying to find
he's concerned.
Is he trying to find the new Excel spreadsheet for the tarantula?
No, he's concerned. He's like, well, what if she's gonna feed me to a new boyfriend?
I think that's more of a joke.
Yeah, but like that means that there's concern there.
Okay. Have you ever woken up with a funky symptom like a swollen or itchy eye, tight pain in your neck? Or maybe it's a persistent cold that just won't go away. And then you immediately Google it, or maybe like Teresa, you go on TikTok to see what's wrong with you. We've all gone down that rabbit hole. Let me tell you, maybe it's not the best thing. Maybe it's time to find some help. And with ZocDoc, you can do just that.
Being a hypochondriac, Google is not your friend sometimes. Or TikTok.
No.
I used to Google things to make myself feel better, but I would just end up in this deep, dark rabbit hole and diagnose myself with a million different diseases, and it would feed my anxiety to no return.
Yeah.
That is where ZocDoc can help people like me. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment.
We're talking about booking in-network appointment with over 100,000 doctors in every specialty. From mental health to dental health, primary care or urgent care, you can filter through all the doctors and find the ones that are going to accept your insurance. You can find the ones that are located nearby and are the best fit for you.
Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose the right time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book an appointment.
So stop putting off that doctor appointment and go to ZocDoc.com/ThreadTalk to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor.
That's ZocDoc.com/ThreadTalk. ZocDoc.com/ThreadTalk.
Thanks for ZocDoc coming on and supporting the show. Now, back to the stories. All right, on to me. I discovered that my parents have been lying to me about my food allergies for my entire life. Am I justified if I cut them out of my life?
What?
Ever since I, 19 female, was a little girl, my parents, 50s, have told me that I'm allergic to both milk and chocolate. The story goes that I broke into severe hives on my very first Halloween. My mom had given me some milk chocolate, and I had to be rushed to the hospital with hives and breathing problems where I was diagnosed with both chocolate and milk allergies. Ever since then, I have never been allowed to eat anything containing chocolate or cow's milk. Over the summer, one of my college friends from out of state invited me to stay with her for a few weeks. While I was in her state, I decided to use the opportunity to visit my grandmother and aunt, who I haven't been able to see since I was a young child. My aunt was thrilled to see me, and we spent a whole day hiking and just catching up. When we stopped for lunch, my aunt pulled out some granola bars, but they had chocolate in them, so I couldn't eat them. I told her that I was allergic to chocolate, and she was stunned. My aunt told me that I had never been allergic to chocolate and that my mom was lying to me. She told me the story of how I had gotten ill from daycare and my mom had tried to sue the daycare owner for some stupid reason that no one was sure of. My mom was pissed off because she thought the daycare owner was flirting with my dad and she wanted to get the daycare shut down.
Oh,
My mom then invented the story about me and the chocolate at the Halloween party. She made sure not to tell the daycare about the fake allergy and then waited for the daycare to feed me food with chocolate in it so that she could sue.
oh my God.
When that didn't work out, my mom then invented a story about me being allergic to milk. My aunt tried to call her out on it, but my mom stopped speaking to her, and that silence has continued until the present. Needless to say, I was stunned. I wanted so badly to believe that my mom was telling the truth and that my aunt was lying. I waited until we got back to my aunt's house and I took a bite of one of the granola bars. I was not allergic at all. I was very upset and decided to call my dad. Our conversation was so crazy and out of nowhere that I don't know what else to do but type it out. The conversation went like this. Me. Dad, were you aware that I'm not actually allergic to chocolate and milk like you and mom have told me? My dad. Don't be ridiculous. You've never been able to eat chocolate without a reaction. Why would we make that up? Me. I'm not trying to accuse you of making it up. I'm just asking if you're aware that I do not have the allergy. I just ate some chocolate and I didn't have a reaction to it. Did I ever get allergy tests done? My dad. I will have to ask your mother. I'm upset that you are trying to call us liars over this. Me. When did I say anyone was lying? What are you talking about? My mom then jumped into the conversation over the speakerphone. My mom. Honey, don't you remember when you had hives at your 10th birthday party? Your friend had given you a Tootsie Pop and you were allergic to the chocolate.
Tootsie Pops don't have chocolate, are they?
Some of them have chocolate on the inside.
Oh.
Me. Mom, I never had a 10th birthday party, and I don't know what you were talking about. I was just curious if I ever had a real allergy test done for chocolate, because I was just able to eat some without a reaction. I'm just trying to figure out if I can eat chocolate or not now. My mom. I don't know why you need to know if you had a test or not. You can't eat chocolate because we say you can't eat chocolate. You're being a little liar right now. How dare you say we never gave you a birthday party that year? You've always been ungrateful. Now you can't even remember the party we gave you? Me. Mom, I know I never had a 10th birthday party because I was at summer camp. Why are you trying to make me believe that I did? My mom then started screaming at me and I just hung up on the phone because it was so loud and I couldn't hear any individual words. I silenced my phone and watched as she proceeded to call me 40 times in a row. The entire time, my aunt was watching in horror. My aunt then gave me a hug and told me that this is why she doesn't have a relationship with my mother. My mom always does this, lied to people and then tried to convince them it was the truth. I'm very upset about the entire situation. The conversation was simply one of the craziest things I've seen, and I don't know who these people are anymore. It creeped me out, and I don't think I ever want to talk to them again, or else they will try to turn on me. Am I right in wanting to cut these people out of my life?
Yeah. You are so very right. Run like hell. I'm actually kind of shocked that the dad was in on it too, because it seemed like the reason was because she was jealous
Right?
of like some flirty.
But who knows if that was actually the truth? That's just what the aunt like
Well,
kind
it
of get
seemed
pieced
like
together. But
it seemed
who?
like the aunt was correct in the other stuff.
Yeah, so she could be right on that too.
Yeah.
So top
Oh my
comment.
God.
I'm just amazed you hadn't figured it out sooner. I'm allergic to various nuts, and I'd say about once a year I accidentally eat one. But when I was younger, my parents kept me away from eating all nuts to be safe. And then OP replies and says, they had chocolate and milk banned from the house and always told my teachers and such about my allergies at the beginning of each year. I also had to keep an EpiPen in my car starting after I got my license just in case something bad happened. I didn't have any reason to doubt them until a few months ago when it all came crashing down.
Can you imagine, like, you go to a friend's house or something and then their parents accidentally feed you chocolate, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm allergic. And after you eat it, they have to like give you an EpiPen.
And you didn't even need it?
And you didn't need it? Is there any side effects to that?
I don't think so.
Well,
'Cause
just like the
and
act of doing it, I feel like is pretty traumatic.
yeah,
It's like a large needle. I've never had one,
I
but
have.
you've had to put it
Yeah,
like
because remember when I worked at Tormont, I
yeah,
broke out in hives that one day, and
yeah.
then the doctor prescribed me an EpiPen, and then I had another rash, I think. And did I use it or not? I think I used it because I think I
Mm.
got another rash. I did. Yeah, I got another rash. I didn't know what it was from, and I jabbed myself in the leg with the EpiPen.
Ah! Did it hurt?
Yeah, you got popped the thing, and you got to jab
Oh,
yourself with
wait.
a needle. From what I understand, EpiPen is basically just like adrenaline.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think you're right about that. But still, like,
Okay, even worse than that. The poor girl had to go her
she had to
whole
refrain
life
with from
no chocolate.
my favorite thing in the world.
Chocolate chip cookies, Snickers, Mars bars, chocolate cake.
Chocolate
Imagine
milk?
chocolate milk,
She
all
can't have milk or
milk
chocolate.
or chocolate. But imagine all the birthdays that she go to that are like a chocolate cake.
That's so sad.
Chocolates with everything. It's like
Everything.
our number one dessert item, candy thing.
That's crazy.
That's insane. So Opie
I'm so
has
sad for her.
So Opie adds about her parents. My mom and dad are two peas in a pod, and they are best friends. If she's a narcissist, then I'm 100% positive he is one too. I can't afford an allergy test, but at least I know I'm not going to die from chocolate anymore. I don't think I'd be able to pretend that I forgot about the party because it was so hurtful that she tried to lie to me about it. I don't ever want to speak to her again. She doesn't even remember my birthdays, and she's my mom. That's wild.
That's so sad. She doesn't even remember my birthdays.
Try to gaslight her to say,
Also, like, why would I would throw it back and be like, wait, why would my aunt say that I'm not allergic to chocolate if she knows that I am? And want to try to kill me?
I guess.
Like,
Yeah.
let's see how they respond to that.
That'd
because
probably open up a whole nother can of worms if
oh
he
yeah,
mentions the aunt.
she probably doesn't know that
But
they're speaking.
Sounds like she already wants to cut him off anyway. But so there's an update that comes in 3 months later. It's been a while, but I felt the need to update because my mom purchased a one-way ticket to Crazy Town after I made my first post.
Oh God.
To summarize what I found out in my last post, I am not allergic to chocolate. Chocolate is amazing, and I am now addicted to the chocolate waterfall at Golden Corral. I am not allergic to milk. I am mildly lactose intolerant, but I was always told it was an allergy to a protein in the milk. I can drink lactate with no issues. I had an allergy test done, and it confirmed that I am not allergic to anything except for pollen and some animal dander. My mom is a psycho.
Yep.
After I made my original post, I decided that I was going to cut contact with my parents except through email. My mom called me over 1,000 times the first week, and I eventually had to get a new phone and simply stopped answering the old phone and let the battery in it die. To put this in perspective, she used to call me 2 to 3 times a week, and this sudden increase was pure insanity. Since my mom knew where my dorm was located on campus, I requested to be moved into one of the more private dorm buildings because I was concerned for my privacy. I didn't tell anyone except my college friends about the move, and I had thought that everything would be fine. Everything was fine for a few weeks until I got a call from one of the professors to help tutor one of the new students. My school has a master tutor list, and any student can call the tutors and arrange for help for free. Us tutors are paid by the school. I told the professor that I would meet the student in the library in a few, and I grabbed my books and walked over to the library. Lo and behold, the new student was my mom.
Oh my God.
My mother decided that she would enroll in classes as a student in order to contact me. When I saw her, I froze and immediately tried to leave the library, but she followed me outside and wouldn't leave me alone. I eventually managed to duck into one of the fraternity apartments and was able to lose her, but she has been basically stalking me on campus ever since. I tried to report her to the school, but the campus police told me that since she never made any threats, there's nothing I can do. I tried reporting her to the normal police as well, but was told the same thing. My mom has not left me any voicemails or texts or anything at all that I can use to prove what she's doing. My RA has ensured that my mom is banned from my dorm building as only upperclassmen are allowed, and my mom is technically a freshman. But beyond that, I am running out of options. My mom posted on Facebook that she is signing up for the same classes as I need to complete my major next semester. She posted her schedule, and we are in one of the same classes.
Oh.
I don't know what else I can do to stop the crazy. She claims that she didn't do anything to hurt me and that I am just lying about the chocolate and the milk allergies. My aunt had to go out of the country for work, and I feel so alone with dealing with all of this. My dad has basically ditched and moved out of my mom's house, and I haven't been able to get in contact with him either. Any ideas for how to stop the crazy?
Wait, so her dad left her mom?
Yeah,
I thought there were two peas in a pod. That's what she said.
I don't know.
Oh my God, so this woman is paying tuition. She enrolled. Oh my God. That's like $5,000 at least for
Yeah,
a semester.
it's very crazy, very psycho, little bit smart.
But what is her goal?
I
what
have
is
no
her end
idea.
goal? I don't get it.
No idea. But like,
What do you mean it's smart?
I mean, you shouldn't, but you're trying to like track down your daughter who refuses to talk to you.
So
You enroll in
stalk
school.
her?
You didn't just stalk her. You enrolled in the school to get access to where she is.
That's stalking.
To stalk her. Yeah, but I mean, you didn't just stalk her. You didn't just show up outside the campus, try to walk around campus, try to look for the student. That's normal stalking.
Normal stalking. This is way worse.
She enrolled in school, became a
so
legal
much worse.
student of the school that she's allowed there just to stalk her daughter. Really crazy, really messed up, but kind of smart.
I just don't understand what she thinks she's going to accomplish by enrolling.
Oh, no idea.
Like, okay, even if her daughter does talk to her, so what? Like,
Yeah, no idea.
I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know either. Just wild. So OP does reply to a downvoting comment saying to be a mean girl and take charge. And OP says, I don't think she's physically or financially dangerous. The only way she can hurt me is mentally and emotionally. I've been able to play it off to my friends so far because she is the living and breathing stereotype of a crazy Asian mother. If I can get this meeting arranged, I'm going in drinking a carton of chocolate milk. I'm not worried about her because she's always been this crazy. This is just the first time that her anger has been directed at me.
Damn.
And then on how did the mom find out about OP's schedule? She found out from the degree catalog they publish each year, the one that lists all the classes you need to graduate. She signed up for one of the 200 level classes I had left, and it doesn't need any prerequisites at all. She's actually really smart, and she somehow managed to test out a lot of the core classes. She'll be taking Calc 2 next semester.
Damn. That's so crazy.
When told to contact the department head or professor and have her mom removed. I'm typing up an email to the department chair now, and I'm waiting for a call back from the student affairs office. I've still got the phone, but the police won't even look at it when I tried to tell them about her stalking me. It's an iPhone, so it saves all the records when she tried to call me. Okay, but like, what can the school do? Like, you have a student, take the mom-daughter relationship out of it. You have a student that signed up for school, paid her way, signed up for the tutoring class, went through it as signing up for classes. Like, she hasn't actually done anything besides trying to talk to her. From the school's perspective, they're like, we just have a student. Like,
I guess, like, my question is, how do people get restraining orders? Because most of the time, and this is kind of off topic, but most of the time, like, your stalker is like infatuated with you, right? Like it's an obsession.
Yeah.
And they're not really threatening you. Because there was a comment that said there's no threats, like the police can't do anything about it because there's no threats. We need proof of threats.
Yeah.
So how do people get restraining orders then?
There has to be, I feel like, incidences that happen. I don't know.
Because I feel like this is
text messages,
grounds for
voicemail,
a restraining order. Like, this is crazy. Like she said, it's crazy town.
But is it? I don't think it is. It's not grounds enough for a restraining order. Your mom just signed up to the same school with you.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I don't know. What was that? What was that one show that we watched, or that movie? The Christmas movie with the girls and the moms.
Bad Moms?
No.
Bad Moms Christmas?
Yeah, Bad Moms Christmas, I think.
Okay.
There was like the one blonde chick mom, got the same haircut, did everything. I feel like that's the type of mom, when her kid goes off to college, she's like, oh, honey, I signed up for classes too. We'll be together. That's not cause for a restraining order. Your mom's just crazy.
Yes.
It's kind of what's happening here. Minus there is a whole allergy, lying, chocolate and milk situation going on. But yeah. So another update comes a week later, and she posts it in a different subreddit under r/raise my narcissist. Trigger warning for talks of suicide. Hi there, this is my first time posting here because I was hesitant to give my mom the narcissist label. That being said, I don't really have a better term to describe her behavior, and a ton of people pointed me to this subreddit after I posted on r/relationships about my mom. To summarize, my mom and dad lied to me and told me I had allergies for chocolate and milk. I believed them for years until I met my estranged aunt and she spilled the beans and revealed the web of lies created by my mother. I decided to go no contact with my parents, and my mom snapped and enrolled at my university and was basically stalking me and enrolling in the same classes I need for the next semester. I contacted the student affairs department and they arranged a meeting between myself and my mom regarding the stalking. At the meeting, the administrator heard both sides of our stories and pretty much caught my mom in another lie. My mom had her best poker face on and tried to claim that she hadn't contacted me in months. She denied that she called me repeatedly, denied that she even tried to get tutoring from me, denied everything she did. She tried to act like she was the victim and that I was just a mean and disrespectful daughter who hated her mom. Honestly, like, if you were the mom, why deny? Just say, yeah, I saw my daughter was a tutor. I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to learn. And that's when I produced my iPhone and showed the administrator the call log from when my mom called me over 1,000 times in a row. This is not an exaggeration. The call log hit quadruple digits.
Shut up.
My mom then tried to deny that the number was her cell phone, but the administrator looked it up in the student database and it proved she was lying.
Okay, but what did she think? She wasn't going to have the iPhone anymore?
I don't know. My mom tried to backtrack, but the damage was done. The administrator made us both sign contracts that said we must not contact each other for the remainder of the school year. Otherwise, we would be suspended from classes. My mom was forced to change her schedule so that she would not be in the same classes as I was in. The administrator made it clear that if she tried to circumvent the contract, even if by accident, that she could have her student ID banned from entering the student center or other buildings if I was inside. They are controlled by RFID chips, and we have to swipe them to enter certain buildings. After the meeting ended, I was so happy and I felt free for the first time in weeks. A few nights later, my dad called me and left a voicemail informing me that my mom tried to commit suicide with sleeping pills and that she was going to the hospital. I thought it was fake at first, so I called the hospital and they put me through to my dad, who was in the waiting room. My dad laid into me pretty hard and called me names and stuff about the whole situation, and then told me that if I didn't want my mom to die, I shouldn't have made her life miserable. So that's my Thanksgiving vacation, and I don't really know what to think or do right now. I'm going to bake a pumpkin pie and try to forget about it, but food tastes like ash in my mouth.
Oh my God. This just went to a whole nother level. I feel so incredibly sad for OP. I can't imagine having that guilt put onto you. Like,
It's so not fair. It's like, this is nothing that I did. You decided to lie to me my whole life.
And that is the definition of a narcissist.
Exactly. And thought that it wouldn't come back on you and there'd be no consequences and then everything would just be fine. Like, that is not my fault.
None of this is OP's fault. Literally nothing that she did is wrong at all. Wow. Also, the point where they said the dean or whatever, I don't know who they were talking to, said that if they contact one another, that they would both be suspended from classes.
No, that if either one of them contacted each other, the other person would be.
Basically
saying that it goes both ways.
The person who contacts would be suspended.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
I was gonna say, like, that wouldn't be fair.
No, it's just it goes both ways type of term.
Got it.
So comment on that post. Honey, it's not your fault. Not even a little. She is a very sick person. This suicide attempt is the inevitable conclusion of a long struggle with serious mental illness. Also, while we take all threats of suicide seriously on this sub, her failure to kill herself is notable. It is not hard to kill yourself. Even pop culture offers a few methods which are surefire, and a quick Google search will quickly turn up a dozen more. The fact that she didn't look for this information and didn't complete her suicide suggests that this was more of an attempt to manipulate than an attempt to leave the planet. I qualify this quickly with a link to suicide hotlines should anyone be reading this who is considering suicide genuinely. It's a nasty topic to be sure, but it needed to be said. She isn't dead, and that's significant. And then
I don't know if I agree with that.
OP replied,
I think that's kind of like a really mean thing to say. Like, she tried to kill herself, but she wasn't successful, and that was on purpose.
yeah, I don't know.
Because, like, what if she actually was? Like, there's a lot of suicide attempts that aren't
for sure
successful, and
yeah.
it's not a cry for help.
Yeah, that's crazy. OP replies and says, "Thanks for saying this. My mom is incredibly intelligent and resourceful, and I know that if she really wanted to die, she would have been successful. She can recite stats off the top of her head, and I've heard her saying before that most successful suicides involve guns. I know for a fact that she knows what it takes for suicide, and she's smart enough to find a way to hurt herself without leaving lasting damage. She also made sure to put me down on her list of approved visitors and sign all paperwork so that the nurses can tell me information without violating HIPAA. She knows I'm the type of person who would have called the hospital, and then I would know all the details and she could guilt me with them." I don't know if I would go that far, but this is getting crazy.
That is crazy.
So the comment on the Best of Writer update, top one says, "Enrolling as a student to stalk your daughter at college is a new and frankly impressive level of crazy."
I love that you're admiring it.
It's kind of right. It was kind of smart. Absolutely batshit crazy, but kind of smart.
I don't really classify it as smart because I don't see what I don't see her end goal. What was the point of it? Like, I just don't see the
Well, neither do I.
point
But
of it.
I mean,
So
if she wanted to change her life around, become like a private investigator or something, I bet you she'd be pretty good at it. She seems creative.
damn, this one was absolute crazy.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Oh, man.
All right. Me?
Back to you.
All right. My 36 female husband, 41 male, got fired for harassing a coworker and won't talk to me about it.
What the frick?
My husband Charlie and I have been together for 10 years, married for 6. We've had our ups and downs, but are currently in an up. He has never done anything like this in the past, so it came out of left field for me, and I'm very much shocked and at a loss here. Charlie is a computer programmer and was a senior engineer at his former company, where he had worked for 4 years. He'd never had any trouble with coworkers, and we are both friendly with a few of them, mostly other men and their wives. On Friday of last week, he came home around 11 a.m. and told me he'd been fired. He was really upset and agitated, and I didn't want to push him about it, but he told me that they'd said he was harassing a coworker and was fired. The information I've been able to get out of him is the coworker is Beth, a junior engineer who he's never mentioned to me before. He said she's terrible at her job. Beth slept with a senior engineer we are both friendly with, Darren. Darren wasn't involved in the harassment and wasn't fired. The company's lawyers were there, and among the things they told him was that Beth could have pressed charges but chose not to. Something happened with her car, but he won't say what. His exact words are, "There was something with her car." He was escorted off the premises and is not allowed back in the building to get his belongings and instead has to arrange with security to pick them up after business hours. As far as anything else goes, he won't give me any details. He isn't interested in seeing a lawyer because he says everything is legal. He has basically admitted to sending Beth some emails, but won't say what they said or anything like that. I don't know if Beth sleeping with Darren had anything to do with it, but the fact that he gave me all that detail makes me think it does. I'm not sure how it relates. Darren is a very nice single man who is in his late 20s and approximately the same age as Beth. My mind is running wild here. Charlie has been depressed and withdrawn all weekend, won't talk to me about it, and won't talk much in general. I work remotely, so I was home all day with him and he played video games all day and then went to bed at 6 p.m. The fact that he won't tell me anything and isn't interested in seeing a lawyer makes me think that it's bad and makes me worry that everything is true and not just a misunderstanding or a small thing blown out of proportion. He has never been flirtatious with other women or cruel to them, and he's never said anything bad about other women engineers he works with. I don't know what to do here. My instinct is to be supportive of my husband, but I don't know what kind of behavior I'd be supporting. I don't want to run to his coworkers that we both know and ask them, since they're more our friends than my friends. And while we spend time together at get-togethers or bars, I'm not close with them. In an immediate sense, I don't know what to do about helping someone who is so depressed and won't talk to me.
Dude fucked up and got caught. What was he doing? Like a prank gone wrong? Actual harassment? Was she having an affair with him and then she slept with Darren and then he was jealous?
So many theories.
What the hell?
Top comment says, I would tell him you have to assume the worst if he won't be honest with you. I've got to say he must have done bad shit to be escorted off the premises with no warning like that. Either he was hating on her and went over the top, or he tried to fuck her and went over the top, or he tried to fuck her and then hated on her.
Yeah, dude, shit popped off, got escorted out, got caught, probably got caught in 4K on the cameras.
So an update comes the next day. My thread was locked before I was able to respond to any of the comments, but I was able to read them this morning. I got up around 5:30 to go to the gym before work, and my husband was still awake playing video games. I presented him with the very good idea someone suggested of sending me an email with the details, but that it wasn't acceptable to shut me out of the situation, since it affects me too. His response was basically, the paperwork is in my car, go get it if you want to read it. I asked him to go get it so we could look at it together, and he said, you're going to believe what you want anyways. All of this is so unusual for our marriage because I'm a pretty patient person, I think. We went to the car together and he got to his car, handed me the papers, and left. For about 2 hours, I was panicked because I didn't know where he went, if he was okay, if he was thinking of hurting himself, but his mother texted me at 9 saying he was over there, asking me what happened, if everything is okay, etc. His parents live about 15 minutes away, and I guess he told her he's going to be staying there. So, the paperwork. According to the paperwork, he sent her multiple harassing emails from an anonymous email account. The emails are printed out and attached. He apparently did this while at work, and they have been monitoring his user account for 3 months. The emails aren't sexual or romantic in nature and are all anonymous and about how she sucks at her job, wouldn't be there if she wasn't a woman, how she should quit before she gets fired, and how everyone in the office hates her. He made fake user accounts for his company's product that she works on and submitted bad reviews of her work. He also did this while logged in at work. He sent an anonymous email to her boss saying that she was sleeping with a senior engineer on another project. He put a gun catalog on the windshield of her car. I don't know what this gesture means, but I obviously understand that it was meant to be threatening. Unfortunately, inside was a subscription card that the company auto-filled with his name and address. She also said she has been harassed for the same length of time, about 3 months, on Twitter. He only logged into one Twitter account that harassed her at work, so they can only say one was him, all telling her to quit her job. So I don't know what to do now. This is all terrifying to me, and I feel so bad for this woman. I have no idea what this is about. He works with other women engineers, and he has worked with male engineers who don't pull their weight, and he's never done anything like this. I would have bet $1 million that he'd never do anything like this. He's at his parents' right now, and I don't know what my next move here could possibly be. This is so scary and so out of left field to me.
Oh my God. What?
Like she said, I could have bet $1 million that he would never do something like this.
I mean, I'd bet $1 million on you. If
right?
This was the
like
bet.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, how does this just happen? People like if you did this one day, I would be like the most shocked person in the world. Like,
yeah, this is unhinged. This is crazy.
I think it has to do with, like, I don't know. He's probably...
I think he had to work with her on one project, and it just went so bad that it just ate at him. I don't think it has anything to do with her being a woman, but then he does throw
I
those
think
sexist
yeah,
contents
I
out
think it
there,
does.
so maybe a little bit, but this dude's harassing her on Twitter, emails, like, just quit your job, quit your job, quit your job. Never hated a coworker so much. Like, couldn't you come up with something else to try and get rid of her from your workplace? But, like, that's crazy.
The subscription card with his name and
The
address.
dumbass.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
This is 110% grounds for divorce. Like, there's no you could not stay with this man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Especially because you said this is so out of left field for him. Like, that I feel like that's more of a concern than
Yeah. Oh, this reminded me of the Better Call Saul story that they had in, like, I think it was like season 1 or whatever, where there's like the Idaho pooping bandit who he like poops through the sunroof of the car,
what?
shits into the car from the sunroof.
What the
Leave
heck?
your sunroof open, he runs up onto the roof and then drops a number 2 down in the car.
What?
That's where I thought this was going. Like, he got fired for pooping through a sunroof.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
OP added in the comments. I forgot to mention, this paperwork is copied from the original and was signed by both him and his company. I don't know if that's a full admission, but it seems damning either way.
Yeah, I mean, like, as far as like what do you do? It's like, I don't know, man. Like, if you came home and you did this, it's like, okay, I'm your partner, you know, death to us part, try to be understanding and reasonable and supportive and stuff. But like, you won't even tell me the full story. And you're like, just go to my car and you're going to believe what you want to believe either way. I don't even want to tell you my side of the story. It's like, what's happening to our relationship? You don't even want to tell me your side of the story anymore?
Babe,
What?
that is like the wrong point to be focusing on here
Well,
for the grounds for divorce.
she's asking about their relationship and everything. It's relationship advice. And it's like, he won't even communicate with her. I feel like that's a big part of it. Like, he comes
Okay,
home and
yes.
he's like, just go read the paperwork. You'll make up your own decision. It's like, wouldn't you want to like fully explain your side of the story? Like, come on. Like, why did you do it? I want to know why. Why did you do that? It's clearly, here's the evidence. You did it. Tell me why. Why did you hate her so bad? Why did you want to quit the job? Why?
Yeah, I guess. But like, I even if he came clean and told me everything, there's no way I would be able to get past this.
Okay, whether you are or not, are you not asking me why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Proves my point right there.
Go.
I'll go. I found out my girlfriend shits in the shower. What do I do?
Fuck.
Trigger warning for poop.
God.
Don't really know how to get this out, but I'll start by laying out a few details. So I've been dating this girl for about 4 months now, and she is amazing. Well, up until I found out about this. Like, seriously amazing. Both fallen hard for each other. I've met her family, and she's met my limited family, and it's been going great. She stays over a couple times a week, and I love her company, and I'm very much in love with her. So finding out about this hit me quite hard, and I've felt really weird since. I don't want to get into much detail because it's overall pretty bizarre situation, but basically at the start of the week, she was at my place and we were chilling and caught up on the latest episode of The Mandalorian, which is a great TV show by the way, and she goes off to take a shower, which is normal after a day of work. So I'm chilling in my room, browsing Reddit and catching up with shit, and I need to take a piss. I go to the bathroom and walk into the room where I'm engulfed in the smell of shit. And it's also steamy as hell in there. I'm taken aback clearly and trying to make sense of it because the toilet lid is down, but the smell is so strong. So I ask my girlfriend if she's okay. She says she's great. She's nearly done. She's just trying to get rid of this.
No.
At this point, I'm horrified as I approach the shower curtain.
No.
It's a black curtain, so I can't see shit.
I'm scared.
I kind of realize what she's done, and I pull back the curtain, and she faces me to smile at me, and I look down, and there's about half a shit clogging up the drain, and she's clearly been trying to stomp it down. I had a lot of emotions running through my head all at once: horror, disgust, and surprisement. Mainly at her reaction of me walking in on her trying to waffle stomp a shit down the fucking drain, and I couldn't get my head around how cool and collected she was. I basically just said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And to be honest, her reply was more of a surprise at my reaction of seeing what she was doing, as in she didn't see the big deal about it and didn't get why I was so horrified. It was fucking weird. I left the bathroom, obviously, and we had a talk about it, and she thought it was a normal thing to do. She needed a shit and just went for it. Apparently, she was raised in a household where this is a normal thing to do. I just couldn't comprehend it. After a while talking, she reassured me she didn't do it all the time, but just whenever she needed a shit while in the shower. I tried explaining that this was definitely not normal or a cool thing to do whatsoever, and she kind of flipped it back on me as if I was shaming her and got upset. Like I said, I love this girl, but this has properly rocked me and I don't know what to do.
I mean, in her defense, this is like how she grew up. And I do understand like the defensiveness because she's like, whoa, stop coming at me. Like, this is all I've known. Like, she's gonna get defensive and like get upset that you're coming at her. So I do get that. But
It's like the poop knife.
it's like the poop knife. Oh my God. I don't really blame her though, because like this is like, I don't know, can you imagine like this is just the way you were raised, like, but yes, it's very absurd.
It's how common. Well, sometimes you need to be told, and so you did. I was raised on spaghetti and ketchup. She was raised stomping shit down the top drain. Well, explain to her how it's not sanitary for a multitude of reasons. Hopefully she will listen.
Oh my God. I think this is, what's the word?
Salvageable?
Salvageable. A good word.
I feel like if you explain, hey,
Just don't say it in like a condescending way.
yeah,
Don't be like, no, this is not normal. Nobody does this. Like, say it like in a loving way. Like,
listen, I understand that this is maybe the way that your parents did it. I don't know why. I was not raised like this. Here is why I think it's gross.
yeah.
Just because you're waffle sampling it down doesn't mean it's not staying around the top of the
fecal
drain.
matter everywhere now.
Fecal matter everywhere, okay?
In the place that's supposed to be clean for you to clean yourself.
Exactly. It's going to linger, it's going to smell. You can't continue doing that. Do you think you can make a compromise in our relationship and not do that at my house anymore? And if you could, even maybe try to not do it at your house too.
Just get in the habit of not doing it, so when we move in together, this won't be a problem.
Exactly. Because I would love to move in with you, but I can't if you're going to waffle stomp every other night in the shower.
Yeah. This is sad. Disgusting and sad.
Like number one down the shower drain is like, okay, no big deal. But number two, no.
I don't even do number one.
But I can understand why you wouldn't. It would like run down your leg. I don't have that issue.
Yuck.
Okay, back to you.
Okay. Am I overreacting? Fiancé asked me not to wear white at our wedding. I, 27 female, have been with my fiancé, John, 28 male, since high school. We dated and broke up because his mother, Debbie, 53 female, convinced him we are too young to be in love. We broke up and went to college. During my sophomore year, we started talking on socials again. He apologized and said he missed me. We got back together. Cue the waterworks. Debbie literally cried the first time she saw we were back together and told John that I have done witchcraft on him. I've always respected Debbie out of respect for my mother and upbringing. I was not raised to go back and forth with my elders, but she definitely abuses that. Since John and I decided to get back together, she has tried to hook him up with women from her church, her job, and even asked her friends for their daughters to give it a shot. John denies all of them, and Debbie says that I'm controlling. John has told her to stop, but not in a way I feel she gets the point. Anyways, 3 months ago, John proposed. Deb didn't come to the engagement party. Cool. She didn't come to the family dinner we had so both sides could meet. Cool. John's dad came and apologized for his ex's behavior. He left her when John graduated high school. I told him not to worry about it. The problems really began when John decided to confront his mother about how she's behaving towards our whole engagement. This turned on the light bulb in his brain as he's always tried to ignore it and tell me to ignore her. She gave him a sob story about how she got pregnant with him before marriage and never really got to have a wedding, and this is triggering for her. She had a shotgun wedding at the courthouse. He asked her what she needed to feel comfortable, and she responded that if she wore white and I wore soft pink or lavender, she would feel comfortable. My fiance, for some reason, thought this was a fair compromise. He also said, not asked, that his mom could walk me down the aisle so she can get her moment in her dress. I told him absolutely not, and we got into an argument about it. I told him that it's insane that he would argue with me to defend his mom's honor, but wouldn't do the same the other way around. He accused me of being petty and selfish. It was bad. We both have agreed to cool off, but by how heated it got, I could tell we both almost agreed to call it off. Now we're in a weird space, and I love John, but now see how much he's let her impact our lives. I just imagine her sitting at home with this evil grin, knowing she's ruining my relationship with John, and he's just putty in her hands. I think I should just call off the wedding. Am I overreacting, or is it just a color?
Walk her down. Let her walk you down the aisle. And then when you get there, be like, no. You can go marry your son.
That should be the breakup. That should be the way to break up your relationship with John. Don't end it before the wedding.
Besides the whole waste of money and everything.
Oh my God.
Don't understand the part where she says, this turned on the light bulb in his brain, as he's always tried to ignore it. What light bulb? Because he came back and said, hey, can you not wear white to our wedding so that my mom can wear white? What light bulb did it turn on? It's like it turned off his light bulb. Because he went dumber.
I know, right? I guess, yeah, I don't know. I think it was the opposite effect too. Top comment. This isn't about a dress color. It's about control and possibly a dash of humiliation. Do you really want to put down roots, start a family with a man willing to bend backwards for his mommy, to the point of telling his bride she can't wear white, but his mom gets the glory? I shudder to think what having kids with this man would look like.
For sure.
OP replies, honestly, I don't. I spoke to his dad to see if he could help me, if he could help John see my side. He said he will talk to him. Future father-in-law was pissed.
I can see why they're divorced. Yeah, jeez.
All right, so there's an update. Hey everyone, not sure if this is an update everyone wanted, but this is what happened since my last post. 1. I laid out a couple of talking points that I couldn't articulate over the rage. 2. I met up with John after work at home. I was at the gym letting off steam. 3. We spoke on everything and made plans to speak to his mother. John came home remorseful. He told me he was anxious about it and brought it up to a coworker/friend about how I didn't want to compromise. Apparently his friend, God bless his soul, went off on him about him being cringy. This angered me. So when I say it's a problem, but another man tells you and now you see the other side, I brought up my talking points. 1. Him being easily manipulated. This was also proved when I said he would listen to whatever another man said before his partner. Even though his friend agreed with me, it hurt that he didn't listen to me. 2. His mom going out of her way to break us up with this silly request. He was way more open to this theory now knowing how cringe he looks, even telling the situation to someone else. I compared it to a father removing a bride's wedding garter. He got the point. Jesus. 3. Him agreeing to his mom's crazy request before even talking to me. He claimed he didn't, that he told her he'll see how I feel about it and just brought it up to me. I asked why did he not see that his mother walking down the aisle on his wedding day was extremely creepy. He said it's just a dress in his eyes. He just didn't want his mom to miss the wedding. I told him there will be no wedding if he doesn't straighten up. He said he understood. 4. Me showing him how blatantly obvious it was she hates me. She didn't even ask to wear white alongside me, which is still weird, but that I don't wear white at all, as if I'm some impure whore. Thanks, Reddit, because I wasn't even thinking of that one. He said he didn't see it that way. He just knew she hasn't been showing up because she said seeing me in white hurts her. So I said, do you not hear your own mom saying she wants to be the bride herself? That she can't stand it being me? It finally looked like a ding light bulb went off in his head. Again. 5. Me asking him what role would she play in our wedding, childbirth, Mother's Day, and everything to come. Would I always come second place? He assured me I wouldn't, and he realized how bad he fucked up. He was just trying to keep the peace. I asked, by always making her happy and making me miserable? I refused to live my life this way. He agreed and said he was sorry and that he wouldn't want me to be miserable. We have no children yet, but we created a plan and how to deal with any big milestones. She won't be there for anything unless I'm comfortable with it, and I won't be unless she does a 180. Number 6. I ask, what did his mom say to change his mind? And you all guessed it, she cried. She cried about how her baby was getting taken away from her, how she never got her wedding, how his dad left her and she was alone and had no one else, that she felt sick and just wanted to experience a real wedding before she dies. She is perfectly healthy unless there's something she hasn't told us. I just told him if that was enough to manipulate him, what's to say he won't turn on me again? He said his friend and dad talked sense into him about how he was going to lose me. I told him today that that was the last straw for me. He had to do 4 things to keep me engaged to him if he even cared to. 1. Go low contact with his mom and do not let her make any decisions on our wedding, which will be postponed another year to see if he actually sticks to his word. 2. He has to go to counseling, individually and couples counseling. 3. He has to speak to his mom with me present about her behavior towards me because every time he goes by himself, he comes back with a reason why he left it alone. And 4. He must create strong boundaries and learn to uphold them. He agreed. Then came the bad part. I showed him the post. I felt so bad as he read everyone rip him to shreds in the comments. I could see how uncomfortable he was as he read how much of a mama's boy he was and other things about his mom. He was hurt that I agreed that I should leave him in some comments. He read for a few minutes until he saw someone call him a spineless see you next Tuesday, and then gave me my phone back. He said it was really harsh, but I had to show him how crazy the situation sounded, even if it was just to keep the peace on a surface level. Him reading the post was icing on the cake. He said he saw everyone telling me to leave, and his heart physically started hurting knowing that he deserved it. We called his dad, who I'm no longer calling future father-in-law because I will call this wedding off tomorrow if he doesn't have my back when we speak to his mom. John's dad, Dan, who I'll name since he's a big part of this update. Dan also read John the riot act again. He was relieved John decided to get his act together. We agreed to go to Deb's house tomorrow with Dan and John's aunt. My dad is tagging along. John has said he will tell his mother that she can't, under any circumstances, make our wedding about her. He also said that if she does cry or try to guilt trip him, he will tell her he's going no contact. I feel terrible as getting a man to stop talking to his mother isn't something I ever thought I ever wanted. I doubt Debbie will come around, especially not tomorrow with all of us against her. I don't know if John will backtrack as soon as he gets there. I have explained if he doesn't grow a spine, I'm leaving. He either can marry me or marry his mom, but that's my ultimatum. He said he chooses me. We'll see, I guess. This all should make me happy, but I still feel icky. I'll update tomorrow after we talk to Debbie.
Damn. I was going to say, like, it's iffy to stick around and see how it goes. But at the minimum, you need to postpone the wedding.
Yeah.
But I also don't understand the part. Dad's John Dan. He was relieved John decided to get his act together. We agreed to go to Deb's house tomorrow with Dan and John's aunt. My dad is tagging along also.
I don't know why that's happening.
That's excessive.
That's a lot of people ganging up on her.
Yeah,
There's no way she's going to...
There's no way she's not going to be hostile to 3 adults, 5 people, plus the kids, so 5, tagging along to give her the riot act. No, that's going to go bad. Like, if anything, it should just be the 3 of you.
Yeah.
And you need to see what John's going to do without all the backup that he has, because that's automatically going to make her defensive anyway.
Exactly.
That just sounds like a recipe for disaster.
So there is an update, and this one I have not read yet because this was posted after I got this story. Hey everyone, I'm back with the last update. This is a bit long, so buckle up. Some people reached to disrespect me. I honestly don't care if you don't believe my story or find me annoying, but messaging me, calling me names, being disrespectful, and or saying I shouldn't wear white to my own wedding is classless. I won't respond, and I genuinely hope you all get help you need for whatever trauma makes you that angry of a person.
I'm still confused why people send DMs.
To all the people who have reached out with positive vibes and advice, thank you so much, you cutie patooties. Anyway, John and I met up after work and we headed to pick up Dan. John's aunt couldn't make it. My dad was meeting us there. I had really bad anxiety. I told Dan and Dad they should give us a few before knocking so she doesn't feel ambushed. They agreed. Here's the part everyone was waiting for. We got to Debbie's. My heart feels like I'm going up the world's tallest roller coaster slowly. John is quiet. We get there and he gives her a firm but respectful, "Hey, Mom." We sit down and John tells her we came to talk to her. She asks, "What's wrong?" John got right into it. He bluntly said to her that her actions towards me for years have been petty. Her not showing up for any of our wedding events was unacceptable to him. He flat out asked her, why does she have a problem with me? I genuinely thought he was going to start with the dress situation. He went for the root of it all. Debbie acted like she had no idea what he was talking about. She was actively trying to get him to cheat and leave me for other women, but in that moment she was shocked and doesn't know where it was coming from. She said she has no problems with me and loves me like a daughter. She looked at me like she expected me to talk, but like I said to you all, I wanted to see what John had to say. He asked her to be honest and named all the times he's recalled that she's insulted me to my face and behind my back. He mentioned she has also told him he could do better every time I'm not around. This was news to me, but am I shocked? No. Deb was livid. She genuinely couldn't believe he outed her like that. She starts going off on him, calling him disrespectful, and saying he was disrespecting his own mother for an outsider. She kept saying, quote, "I know she made you do this. I know she's the one making you disrespect me like this." John was trying to reason with her and get her to calm down. I text Dan and my dad to come in. Once they were inside, Deb became a different person. She was startled as she wasn't expecting them, and then all of the things she was just saying went out the window. She turned to Dan and my dad and said John walked in and just started yelling at her because of me. My dad looked at me and shook my head no. And I shook my head no. Once Dan and Dad got in, everything was calmer for a little while. She went back to denying she didn't like me. They all told her it was obvious, that the dress request was shameful of her. She immediately replied, "It's shameful that I won't let her son spend time with her." John said that's not true. At this point, I'm burning inside. I wanted to correct all of her inaccuracies, but I stood quiet. John asked her what's the real issue with OP. Deb starts saying how she knew I was going to be an issue since we were in high school. She said that once John got with me, his grades started dropping, which isn't true. That he stopped making time for family, also not true. That he once didn't show up to celebrate Mother's Day with her a few times because of my birthday. My birthday is in April, Mother's Day is in May. That once we got back together, he forgot about her completely because I made him abandon her. He goes to her house minimum 3 times a week. She said that the fact that we had the engagement party without checking how she felt about it was wrong, and all the evidence she needed to see what kind of woman I am. My dad pointed out that she didn't pay for the engagement dinner to have any input on it. Dan asked her what was she thinking asking to wear white at our wedding. Why is she so hungry for attention? Her face got red and she went off. She told Dan maybe if he would have properly married her and gave her a real wedding, she wouldn't feel left out. Dan straight up called bullshit and said that she didn't want to have a real wedding, even though he tried to convince her. The reason being that her mother told her pregnant brides are tacky. She started crying. I honestly felt bad for Debbie here. Mothers, be nice to your daughters or you'll create Debbies. My dad got everyone to calm down. John finally spoke again and told his mom that he can't keep defending her when she won't even try to respect me. That, for his sanity and our relationship, he's going low contact. Deb kept crying and said that John can't leave her for dead. She's the only mother he'll ever have. Mothers are forever. Wives are not. I'm not even his wife yet and I'm already tearing apart the family. He kept going. He told her that we are going to get married. She can't respect me or stop crossing boundaries. She'll get cut off completely. That his visits are dropping down to 1 every 2 weeks and that she needs to call him less. She started going off. She knew it. I'm doing something to him. What did I do to her son? I'm a manipulator and a problem. She told my dad he raised a demon. My dad shot back at her to watch her mouth. John kept shouting, "Mom, stop! Mom, stop!" But she kept screaming and then she just started hyperventilating. Whoever called it, you might be able to see the future. She was gripping John's arm, saying she can't breathe. This was when I said to myself, oh no, he's about to flip-flop. He looked at me, and I know he knew what I was thinking. John got her a cup of water, then asked his dad if he could make sure his mom was okay and asked my dad to take Dan home. Dan and Dad agreed, and his mom started crying louder. She literally screamed, I can't breathe, as we walked out so he could hear her. I felt fucking terrible, and I finally spoke. I told John I'm sorry, and I understand if he felt bad. He said he knew she was faking it, but his instincts wanted to run over and make sure she was okay. I asked, are you? He said no, but he looked really sad about it. My dad walked out behind us. My dad has never seen this side of Deb. Neither have I. She's always been catty or shady towards me, but this was insane. My dad straight up told John that his mom needed help with her mental health. John said he's going to talk to his aunt about getting her help. We went home and John cried. He said he cried because he watched his mom villainize him and tell others that he just walked in and verbally abused her. He said it reminded him of the times he would fight with his dad because his mom would say Dan would just come from work and yell at her for no reason. I guess it was deja vu for him. He was silent after she said that, so I do believe it struck a nerve with him. He decided to go no contact for now. I did ask him if he was okay with me posting this part, and he said yes. Before we went to Deb's house, I called a couple of counselors in our area to check availability of our first couples therapy session in next month. It's a little while away. He called his provider today to check for a therapist within his insurance and got an appointment for himself on the 23rd. The ball is rolling, and John seemed like he's on the same page as me. I know this is killing him, though. Dan called us to let us know he got Deb to calm down. He said he spoke to her as best as he could about her harming her own relationship with John, but she didn't want to hear it. Thank you, Reddit. I really didn't expect this to blow up like this. The advice and well wishes I got from this was so overwhelming in a great way. While I should be happy, something about it just makes me feel down. I hope that Debbie gets better and we can one day have her in our lives. Something about that comment about her mother made me hurt for little Debbie. Hopefully one day I'll get to hear her stories. Now I'm getting back to my regular life, and hopefully I won't ever have a dramatic update for you guys ever again.
Jeez. Oh my. Shit just went from bad to crazy. That just sounds like so much work.
Yeah.
That sounds exhausting.
Exhausting.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like at some point you gotta be like, we have kids together. Do I really want this person for grandma?
I know, exactly.
But at the same time, it's like, maybe that person can change and get better. And
Possibly.
I don't know. Feel like she's just in love with her son.
She is. It's pretty clear. At least the silver lining here is that John bucked up and saw his mom for who she is.
Thank God.
I know.
Jeez. That was
Anyways,
intense.
Yeah. Back to you.
All right, moving on. Am I the asshole for blocking my parents after they pressured me to give up custody of my niece? I, 25 male, have been raising my niece since she was 1 year old. Her parents, my sister, and her boyfriend went to jail for drug abuse, and I stepped in to take care of her. Over the years, I've grown incredibly close to her. I even adopted her 3 years ago, and she sees me as her dad. Recently, my sister was released from prison and expressed a desire to regain custody of my niece. My parents are supporting her, arguing that my niece belongs with her biological mother. They acknowledge the mistakes my sister made, but believe she deserves a second chance to be a mother. However, I have serious concerns about my sister's ability to provide a stable environment for my niece. She has only been out of prison for a short time, and while she claims to be clean and ready to parent again, I'm worried about the potential for relapse and the impact on my niece. My parents have been relentless in their pressure, constantly calling, texting, and showing up at my place to argue their point. They accuse me of being selfish and holding on to my niece out of spite. The stress and conflict became unbearable, and I felt like they were not considering my niece's best interests, just my sister's wishes. In response, I decided to block my parents' numbers and social media accounts to create some space and peace for myself and my niece. Since then, they've been reaching out through mutual friends, accusing me of cutting them off and keeping my niece from her family. They're making me feel guilty for wanting to maintain the stable, loving environment my niece has known for the past 6 years. Am I the asshole for blocking my parents and refusing to give up custody of my niece?
No. I think you said it best. They're not thinking about your niece's best interest. They're only thinking about themselves.
Right?
That is so selfish to be like, okay, I'm back from prison. Where's
Yep.
my daughter? Give
Where's
her
my
to
kid?
me.
Gimme, gimme, gimme.
I'm owed. What's the
Yeah,
word?
I'm owed.
I'm owed her.
Like, I can understand the desire to want to make amends and be back in your child's life and to
Yes.
work towards it.
You
But
have to work towards it.
you have to put in your time. You have to
Yeah.
work towards it. That kid doesn't even know you. She's 7. She doesn't even know you. She's been raised without you. Like, she's not going to remember you from when she was
Yeah,
1.
this is a stranger to her.
Exactly.
She doesn't even know her as an aunt.
Stranger danger.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how this wasn't like communicated before though. Like, hey, what's gonna happen once you're out of prison?
Yeah.
Like, how is that never a talk?
Right? Like, set the expectation.
Yeah, exactly.
So the best comment, not the asshole. If you access daycare/childcare, meet with a top leader and submit in writing that your daughter is not to be picked up by anyone but you. Her grandparents or her mother may attempt to do so. After it is submitted, I chat one-on-one with staff to ensure that they have been updated. I admire your tenacity to do the right thing for your niece/daughter. Your writing suggests you have legal custody, and I hope this situation is true. But be sure not to hesitate calling the police, securing a protection order, or other strategies should this situation escalate. You read your sister's situation correctly. She is likely on probation or parole. She may be clean, but she will now need to rebuild her life. Securing housing, employment, transportation. Life stresses could be the reason she uses. This needs to be her rebuilding her lifetime. Continue to create and protect peace in your home. Best to you.
Yeah, I would just say, like, if she really wants to, then she can file for custody and she can go through the courts.
Yeah.
And then a judge can determine who is a better fit.
Exactly.
Just do it the legal way.
Do it the legal way. Like, you're entitled to what the court says, and that's it. Next comment. I will add this as a suggestion that you put the AirTag tracking devices on your daughter's jackets, backpacks, etc. if you think there's any risk that your sister or parents might attempt to kidnap your daughter. Not the asshole.
That's a good point.
Damn. But like, the parents also, or the grandparents, like his parents, like also suck.
Yeah.
Like, do you not want what's best for the child?
Exactly.
Like a stable, healthy home? Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Crazy.
I feel like older people kind of have like an old mentality where then they said it like a child needs to be with its mother.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, they kind of like, they feel like even though it's not going to be an overall better home for that child, like they think it would be better because it's her mother.
Yeah, which is false.
It's false, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Back to you.
Can I marry my potential stepsister? About 4 months ago, I proposed to my girlfriend. We had been dating for several years, and she accepted. We started planning for our wedding soon after and sent out invitations a couple weeks ago. Me and my mother don't get along, and I went no contact with her a year ago. But today, she called me and told me that we could not get married. I asked why, and she said she is dating my girlfriend's father, and that once they got married, we would have to separate since incest is illegal, and she would be my stepsister. I asked my girlfriend when she got home, and she asked her father. It turns out that they had been dating for almost a year now, and although he has known me for several years, he didn't realize he was dating my mother because my mother has the last name of her most recent husband. She's been married 5 times. I was fathered by her second husband. He showed my mother the wedding invitation, and I guess she decided to break the news to me before him. My girlfriend and I love each other, and we both want to stay together, but we are worried there might be a shotgun wedding to prevent us from getting married. My potential stepfather has said he will have to collect his feelings to figure out how to approach this. He said he wasn't planning on proposing anytime soon, but we're worried my mother might pressure him to do this to try and spite me now that she knows about his daughter and I. I hope that he breaks up with her, but if they are indeed a match, it is a horrible thought to want them to be separated. If our parents get married first, will we be unable to? Would there be any consequences if we were to have children without getting married if we were step-siblings? If we were to marry first, would it still be fine for our parents to marry later on? Should we just go to wherever they do marriage licenses and get married now, but still do the ceremony in a few months as originally planned? Or are we doomed to be forcibly separated regardless? I am in New York.
The fuck? He goes, Mom's a psychopath. Like, dude, is his fiance's dad hasn't even proposed, and she's like, "We're gonna get married."
Yeah.
The fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
No way.
Crazy town.
I don't know about the state's laws. I don't even know about Canadian laws, but I would think that step siblings are allowed to marry because that's not actually incest.
Top comment. Incest laws work on blood relation. You're fine.
Yeah, right?
OP replies, that's a huge relief. Wouldn't be the first time my mom has lied. Probably to try and exert power over me since I don't depend on her anymore.
Exactly. I think there's a reason that you don't have contact with her anymore.
Yep. There's an edit to add. Thank you guys so much for the advice. We're so happy that we don't have to worry about this anymore, but getting married at the courthouse or wherever they do marriage licenses before then is likely what we will do for peace of mind. As seeing as our 4th year anniversary is coming up next week, we'll probably do it then. And then there's an update. 5 days later. So it's been a wild week. I would have posted this sooner, but I was spending Thanksgiving with my now wife and her father. We got married this week with my now father-in-laws as witness. And my father-in-law has now separated from my mother after learning what an insane, manipulative piece of shit she was. With this weight lifted from my shoulders, we're the typical honeymoon phase lovebirds you'd expect. Except we haven't even had our honeymoon yet. But it's not all good news. Since my mother called me, she realized I didn't know her work number, so after my father-in-law told her it was over, she called me repeatedly and harassed me about how I was ruining her life and that she would file for divorce on our behalf and insisted you all were wrong about step-siblings being allowed to marry until I finally figured out how to block that number. She also borrowed someone else's phone and called me on that, so I blocked that number too. She hasn't tried any other phones yet, but I expect she will until I change my number again. My father-in-law is also sad over this. He said leaving her was a smart thing to do and for the best, but he's having a hard time coping. I don't blame him, of course, but I know I'd feel like shit if I was in the same situation. At least she didn't have to see my mom at her worst. So thank you all for your advice. My wife and I are very happy about starting a family next year after we get married in our church. I'm glad I didn't rush into marriage like my mother. She got divorced and married another guy in the same year when I was 10. And we feel we made the right call getting the marriage license out of the way now so she can start the name change process before the wedding. I've been compiling phone numbers to call since my wife is taking my last name, and I never realized how much work this involves. Have a great rest of your Thanksgiving, guys.
I don't understand. That's crazy, but like, I don't understand. I've been compiling phone numbers to call since my wife is taking my last name. What does that mean?
I think he's saying like he's just going to take the responsibility of doing all the paperwork and stuff that's required to change her last name.
I see. Man, that's crazy. But like,
you should do that. You want me to take your last name? No? I love that idea.
Of course you do. Let's work for Teresa. She's on board.
Of course.
Okay, but like, what are the chances? Like, literally,
I know.
statistical odds.
I know.
1 in a billion.
But do you think it was intentional?
Right? Do you think
she knew?
Saw a social media post.
Yeah.
And then did a deep dive to find out who he was dating and who her father was. And then
that seems more realistic.
Accidentally met him at a coffee. Statistically, that would have to be more realistic than just randomly started dating him somehow for the last year.
Yeah. Given her track record, she does seem crazy.
Awfully suspicious.
The best part was when she was like, I'm going to file divorce papers on your behalf.
You're going to forge our signatures?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Whoa, bro.
But like, okay, you sign the paperwork and you forge it and it goes through. We are officially divorced. We'll never know it. What changes? We're still living together. We're still doing everything. We're going to go file our taxes. And then the government's going to be like, hey, you guys aren't married. Oh, looks like you guys got divorced. Oh, okay. Well, can we get married again? What is that going to do? You're not actually breaking them up.
I guess it's more so that her and her ex-boyfriend now
could get married.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, what a full-fledged psychopath.
Yeah. Crazy Town.
Damn.
I think we should rename the episode to Crazy Town.
Ooh,
Like Crazy Town.
Crazy Town. All right.
All right, on to you.
I, 16, found my underwear in my brother's 17 room. I don't know if this is the right subreddit to post this on, but I'm going to post it anyways. It's under r/sex. So almost a year ago, one of my bras went missing. I didn't give it much thought and eventually forgot about it. Well, over the course of this year, another bra, 3 panties, a thong, and a bikini top have gone missing. I started to get worried someone had broken into our house. I forgot about my missing underwear, and for a couple of months, nothing else disappeared. That was until a few weeks ago when my mom mentioned to me that she couldn't find 2 of her bras.
No.
Fast forward 2 days, and I'm in my brother's room looking for batteries for my TV remote. He has a large cardboard box under his bed where he keeps random stuff, so I figured he could have some batteries there. As you can probably guess, I did not find batteries, but instead found a bunch of women's underwear. I immediately recognized my red bra that went missing almost a year ago, as well as my black bra that disappeared a few months ago. I didn't want to assume what he did with my underwear, but the questionable stains on my bra spoke for themselves.
Shut up! Shut up! No, don't proceed! Stop it right now! What the heck? Oh my god, I'm sick. I'm sick.
My red bra was covered in stains both on the inside and the outside of the cups.
No.
My other bra had some stains, but they weren't as bad as the red one. My panties didn't look stained, but my Calvin Klein thong that had gone missing about 6 months ago was disgusting. It was crusty and smelled terrible.
Oh my god.
I also found my mom's 2 bras, a black one and a gray one. The black one had a lot of stains on the outside of the cups, and the gray one didn't look like it had any. But what I found the most disgusting was my 9-year-old sister's training bra. It had the most stains out of anything in the box.
Oh my
The bra had huge yellow stains on both sides of it. I'm not even lying, I almost puked. I could still see some of the white on my bra, but most of it was yellow from what I can only assume is my brother's discharge. I put the stuff back in the box and left the room fast. I haven't told anyone about this because I don't know how to approach it. My brother is 17, turning 18 this July, and I'm 16. What I'm asking is, how can I tell my mom about this without affecting our relationship as a family?
I need a moment.
Top comment. Everyone is just saying tell your parents, without realizing your question was not if you should tell them, but how. Tell your mom you need to talk to her in private about something very important and very uncomfortable. Tell her everything you wrote here. You might even just open this up on your phone and read what you already wrote out loud if you're too nervous. Make sure you communicate your worries. Your little sister's safety. Do not tell your sister what happened to her training bra. Do not confront your brother. Those are both jobs being handled by your parents. This will suck, but it's for the best. The only way for this wound to be healed is to uncover it and address it directly.
I think that's a great response.
This is fucking crazy.
I'm sick.
What's a training bra?
It's like a sports bra.
Just to get comfortable wearing a piece of fabric there?
I don't really know what the purpose of it is. I used to wear them too. I always wanted one because I thought it made me feel older.
Makes sense.
But yeah, it's basically like a sports bra.
Oh, okay.
Without padding.
So there's an update. Okay, first off, I want to thank everyone who gave me genuine advice. I saw some people saying that he could have mistaken my sister's training bra for a sports bra. I don't see how that makes it any less inappropriate. Also, my sister's training bra is 3 times smaller than my bras. But anyways, I told my mom that I found my underwear under my brother's bed. I didn't tell her about her and my sister's bra. She decided to wait for my dad to get back from work, so we waited until he got home. Once he did, my mom told him about my underwear, and they both went into my brother's room to talk to him. My dad was calm, but my mom was really mad. She demanded to see the box, so my brother showed them the stuff. I could tell my mom was in disbelief. My mom saw my crusty thong and my little sister's training bra and started screaming at him. In my 16 years I have known my dad, I've only ever seen him cry once, when my little sister was born. But he was crying now. I left the room to go with my sister while my mom still yelled at my brother. It's been almost an hour since this happened and my parents haven't said anything to me. I'm in my room with my sister watching a movie right now. I'll keep you guys updated.
I truly wouldn't know what to do. I would not know what to do with my son. Oh my God. Literally, what can you do?
I don't even know. How do you have that conversation? Like, I feel like it's not like he's 13 or 14 and this
Exactly.
is
Like
like the
an
first time. And
experimental.
it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, you can have that conversation. He's like 17, 18.
I just feel like this is like, I'm scared. I'm scared for like what he's gonna grow up to be, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Because I think I don't know, like I feel like he needs help. But like,
I agree.
how do you fix this?
So there's a third update. This also might be the last update for a while. I'm not sure yet. So my brother was confronted by my parents, and today he confessed everything. He has been doing this since he was 14, according to him. He said he just started using my mom's bra when he was 14, but only started ejaculating on them when he turned 15. He also confessed that he would ejaculate into my clean bras. So I probably ended up wearing bras that had been jizzed on.
Oh,
Is just plain fucking disgusting. He said he just liked my thongs and bras, but when my dad asked him about my little sister's training bra, he stayed quiet. I don't know what my parents are going to do with him. What he did was wrong, but I don't want him to be kicked out because at the end of the day, he's still my brother, but I do think he should be held accountable for his actions. This might be the last update for a while, so thank you guys all for the support I got, and stay safe. How do you even deal with this shit?
no, I don't know. I'm actually at a loss.
I feel
Because you
just
can't kick him out.
No, I don't know if kicking him out is the right answer, but
No, I
like
don't think it's the right answer.
put him in therapy.
Because I honestly feel like if you kick him out, like he's gonna get worse and he's gonna harm other women. Like, I'm honestly like truly concerned for like just other women around him.
Yeah.
And I feel like if he's neglected at this point, like
Could just get worse. I feel
it's
like
gonna get worse.
he needs to have a conversation about healthy boundaries.
He needs therapy.
Such, yeah. Therapy, exactly. Fucking crazy.
She needs therapy too.
The whole family needs therapy.
Oh my God.
Parents need therapy too. Okay. Back to you.
Okay, this one comes from r/ThreadTalk.
What?
ThreadTalk podcast.
What?
Am I the asshole for accepting my stalker's money? So let me start off with how I know him. I've had this stalker for 10 years who I met at work when I was 16 and he was 19 to 20. At the time, I always thought he was nice and sweet and nothing more. But little did I know he thought a lot more of me. He admitted to me that he would go jerk off in the bathroom at work whenever he saw me in a bikini dipping the pools. We were lifeguards. Apparently, he did this a lot. He would also sit in his car and cry whenever I left work to go home. He came to my school to bring me Sonic and would show up at my house and bring me food. After a while, it finally stopped because I left the job in 2018 at the age of 18. He would follow me on all social media, and no matter how many times I blocked him, he would make a new account and add me back, then ask if he could give me food or money. Now, here's where the story gets fucked. He got married, and while he was dating her, he was giving me money and saying he worships me. I have no intention of ever being with this guy, but I felt bad for his wife, so I messaged her what was going on. She never replied. He ends up stalking me for 9 years. I'm currently 25 with 2 kids and engaged. He still continues to this day by contacting me on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it. He's on it trying to contact me to give me money. His wife is still with him, and I just found out through a Facebook post that she's pregnant. She looks pretty far along too. That's where I'm really feeling bad. But because I told her about it and she still stays with him. I don't know if I explained this post very well. I'm really bad at explaining things, but am I the asshole for accepting his money, knowing he's married but will never stop stalking me no matter how hard I've tried to get rid of him before?
This is crazy. I guess like when you're 16 and you're young, you don't really fully comprehend. And then now that you're older, my question would be, when was the last time, like when did you stop giving him attention, stop accepting? Hopefully that was a long time ago. And if it was a long time ago, definitely time to get a restraining order if we're wanting him to keep him away. But she's really asking, is she the asshole for accepting his money, knowing he's married? So yeah, kinda. Like if you don't want him to stalk you, Stop accepting his money. It's like, if you don't want rats in your kitchen, stop dropping food on the floor and leaving it there for them to eat.
I'm going to read the update.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. It's been a while since I've been on here, but I just wanted to update you all. His wife had the baby, and he is still stalking me. He continues to make several new TikTok accounts and follows me, even though I block him every time. I'm getting scared that he may show up at my house. He knows where I currently live. I'm honestly scared he'll try to find me in public or find me in general. He is not right in the head. I tried to get a restraining order, but the police said as long as he's not threatening me, there's nothing they can do. I don't want something to happen, and his wife is still with him. He keeps messaging me, saying he loves me, he wants to give me money, and that he's apparently trying to leave his wife and child so he can try to be with me. Again, I have no intentions of ever being with him, and I continually block him every time he tries to follow me. I don't know what to do.
Move.
I would say move, honestly.
What else? What other choice do you have? Like, if there's not enough evidence to get a restraining order, but you still fear for your safety, move yourself out of that possession. You have two kids. Do what you need to do to move. If he knows where you currently live, move.
Just keep everything. Keep all evidence and receipts of like him messaging you, and hopefully, like, this is what I mean though. How is there ever grounds for a restraining order
when somebody gets violent? When they come on your property and you have to call the police to ask them to leave, that's when you get a restraining order. It's very hard to get a restraining order just against social media.
I guess. Yeah. I hope you're not accepting his money anymore. I know you didn't really specify that.
I think she kind of said that at the end there.
What? That she hasn't?
Yeah.
That he still wants to give her money.
Yeah. It means that she's not accepting.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just say, like, if you are still accepting his money, stop that.
Exactly.
Just stop. Because maybe that is like giving him some hope. And are you married? She's engaged.
Engaged, yeah.
Does your partner know about this? I would definitely tell your partner as well.
Might not want to admit it if you were.
I think now it's like it's past the point of like feeling guilty for that, because like you could be in jeopardy and your kids can be in jeopardy. Like, I think.
Yeah, like, you're allowed to say no whenever you want. Just because you were accepting his shit at the beginning and he's a little creepy, whenever you decide to say no, doesn't mean that you can't say no because you accepted it in the past. It's like, okay, you're okay with his gifts at one point. Now you're not okay with his gifts. Now it's a no going forward. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, if you haven't told your partner, I would definitely tell him, just so they're aware of anything potentially like this man showing up at your house when you're not there, and your partner can at least keep an eye out. And
yeah,
super scary stuff. Just keep all the receipts.
I would say cameras or move. I personally would do what I can to move. Like, if the lease is coming up,
it is extreme, but like if you have the means
but if you're that worried, like, if the lease is coming up, try to find somewhere. If you own your house, try to put your house on the market to sell it. Do what you can do, and if you can't move, get cameras and a security system.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely, kids, I'd be trying to move for sure.
Keep us updated, please.
All right, back to me. This one's coming from r/entitled people. If you're talking loud enough to be heard 3 tables away, I'm joining in. My husband and I were at a casual restaurant we go to a lot, and it sounded like a TV was playing. I look over, and 3 tables away, a couple is eating. The woman had her phone propped against her water glass and was having a loud conversation with the phone while she ate. I could hear everything. How freaking rude. So I got up and went over to the offending table. I put my face over the table so the person on the phone could see me. Hi, how are you? I figured since I could hear the conversation at my table, I would introduce myself. Hi, I'm Nancy. So nice to meet you. Then I went back to my table. I was very disappointed that they discontinued their conversation shortly after. Oh well.
Who is the entitled person here? Because
who's the crazy person here?
Because I think OP put this in entitled people, thinking that the person on the phone was being entitled, but you just showed your true colors, and I think you're being very entitled.
I don't know if she's being entitled.
She
I
is.
think OP is just a little crazy, but I don't think that's entitled.
It's entitled to expect everyone else to be quiet when you are in a public place.
I don't know if it's expecting people to be quiet or if expecting somebody not to have their phone playing on full volume.
Well, it sounds like they were on FaceTime or something.
Yeah.
They were in
I feel like that should be okay because, like, what's the difference between a FaceTime call and having a conversation with somebody at your
Exactly.
table? Like, you're talking.
I think OP is very entitled, honestly. This is
So,
giving entitlement to me.
yeah.
And it's kind of ironic.
Kind of is ironic. A little crazy to me. Top
Can you
comment.
imagine having the balls to do that?
Big
So
balls.
Karen.
Oh, man. Top comment. I did something similar in a Walmart. A woman in line at the pharmacy was talking to her sister on the speaker so everybody could hear. I very loudly says, "Does your sister know she's on speakerphone?" She didn't, but she did learn that she was. The woman in the line goes to me, "You're an asshole, you know that?" And all I said was, "Yes." End of conversation.
Okay. At least you're self-aware.
That one's, I don't know. Is that not kind of fair? Like, hey, does your sister know she's on speakerphone? Does she know that everything she's saying, I can hear it? I don't know. I feel like that's a kind of a fair one to call out.
Yeah, but it wasn't for the benefit of the person on speakerphone. It was...
Maybe it was.
No, it wasn't, obviously. She was, like, trying to get her to stop talking on speakerphone.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah. All right, I will finish up the episode with one more fast one. This one's coming from r/relationship advice. Fiancé, 35 male, says I, 38 female, need to do all of the cleaning and cooking even though we both work and pay bills 50-50. I disagree. Help. Been together for almost 10 years. My fiancé has been watching a lot of videos online and has changed a lot lately on his views of women and such. We are both in 30s. I have a 4-year-old daughter and I'm 4 months pregnant with our second daughter. He has said, quote, all the women at work cook and clean after work. He works 8 to 5. I work 10 to 6:30 from home, but a regular hourly paid job for a large healthcare insurance company. I can take calls all day and watch our 4-year-old all day as well. He says while I'm working, I should be able to also, in addition to watching and teaching and interacting with our 4-year-old, to be able to clean the house, and he should be able to come home to dinner even though he gets home and I'm usually still in the clock. He says men and women are not equals. Men have their roles outside mowing the lawn, and the women are supposed to cook and clean. I believe we both pay half the bills even though he makes substantially more money. We both work full-time, so we both should contribute equally to housework/cooking, as well as these are life skills, not gender roles. I've also tried to compromise and ask if I could lower my hours to part-time to try to accommodate him, to which he said no, then we won't have enough money. Am I going crazy, or should I be totally fine with this? I'm so tired of the constant criticism that everything's not done or the house is messy with toys from our child because I'm multitasking already, as it is usually super stressful, running around like a chicken with its head cut off, as well as feeling like crap from this pregnancy, suffering from constant migraines and nausea/vomiting, officially diagnosed with hyperemesis gravida. I love him and I don't know if I can afford this house plus everything for a new baby on my own, but this is really starting to make me feel inadequate/not good enough. So I just need to know if I should be doing everything no problem and I'm just a lazy pregnant woman that needs to suck it up, or am I justified in thinking that he needs to be pitching in and splitting responsibilities around the house 50-50 with me as we do the bills?
You should tell him he should fight for his country and go to war, because that's what men do. Men go to war and they die for the women.
Go sign up in the army.
And the children. Oh my God, nothing is more enraging than this.
Top comment, he wants a housewife, but he can't afford one. If you're going to split the bills 50-50, you split the chores 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah. But that also has to be something that she agrees to. Like,
yeah. That
can't just be, okay, I'm going to buy you out, and now you're going to be my housewife.
Right? Exactly.
That seems way too transactional.
No, you have to, like, it has to agree.
It has to be a mutual agreement. I know we always say divorce, but, like, there would be no coming back. Like, he doesn't respect you. Like you said, he's been watching these videos. His views on women have changed. He no longer respects you anymore.
His brain is rotting.
Yes.
It is rotting.
I honestly don't think that there's like coming back from this. Like once they have been like poisoned, I don't think there's coming back, honestly. And it's really unfortunate that you're now pregnant again.
Yeah, that sucks.
2 daughters. 1 daughter that's already born and 1 daughter she's pregnant with. So 2 girls. So he's going to have a house of women. And that's honestly a scary thought.
Yeah.
I would say that you may be better off without him.
I have a better plan. You like him. You don't really want to get divorced. When he comes home, find some way to get his phone and change his TikTok algorithm.
Change his algorithm.
Go in there and start searching up why the man should pay for everything, why the man should do the dishes, why the man should clean, why he should do the laundry. Start giving all of those videos onto his feed about how much better or why he should do that. Go and just change his algorithm on his stuff so he stops seeing the brain rotting stuff and reprogram his dumbass.
Yeah. You could try that.
Try that tactic.
I would just, at this point, like, I would also lose respect, and I would, like, there would be no wanting to redeem this relationship after this point.
Right?
Like, I would just, like, be so disgusted.
Yeah.
And just off-putted. Yeah. So, but, I mean, it's obviously easy to be, like, divorce when you have 2 kids, one on the way. Sorry, 1 kid and 1 on the way. And, you know, like, financial issues and just taking care of everybody too, like that's a lot to do. So
yeah,
it's definitely easier said than done, but I would not rule out that option.
Definitely. All right, well, that brings us to an end. I still have a couple stories, so we're going to get to that on our weekly Patreon. So if you guys want more Thread Talk podcast, come join us on Patreon. Bonus episodes every Friday.
Speaking of Patreon, we just added a new annual membership that you can purchase at 20% off.
Yeah, so there's an option that you don't want the membership, just bill it out annually and you'll save 20%.
And that's for any of the tiers. There's going to be like a little toggle at the top that says annual membership. Denver can insert a screenshot here. And yeah, you'll save 20% off doing it that way.
Perfect.
Life updates? Any Q&A or?
We got some Q&A. Okay. No life updates though.
Yeah, we don't really have much.
Nope.
Other than I'm sick. I'm being a little baby.
Oh, huge baby. Q&A for you. You guys seem really good at goal setting. Any tips? I'm someone who barely knows what I'm going to do this week, let alone setting a goal for a year from now.
I didn't even see this one. Are we good at goal setting?
I don't know.
The vibe we put off?
Do we put out that vibe? I feel like I used to like to have like goals. I used to like to have a cork board. We used to have a cork board. Teresa thought it was ugly, so she kind of like just didn't come along to the condo. And I don't really know if we like goal set. I don't know. We just choose things. We plan things far out.
Yeah. We plan our future together.
Yeah, like we book our vacations like far out in advance.
I guess like goal setting. Yeah, I guess like we do have a goal like RV life and like this podcast to grow and everything. And I guess with that stuff it's not really intentional. It's not like we sit down and we're like, okay, what are our goals for this year? I know a lot of people that do that. What's it called? Vision boards.
Yeah.
Like the podcast that I listen to, like what we said, every January they do vision boards. And I've always like thought it's like such a great idea. I just haven't been one to like sit down and do it. But I think stuff like that, like vision board, it helps with like manifestation and just like putting your head in the right space and just visualizing like where you want to be in a year. Maybe like journaling too, I heard is like really, we don't personally do this, but like if you want advice for that stuff, I've heard it goes well.
Yeah, I can't really give too much for like goal setting. Like I don't really know. Just simple,
just kinda,
consistent steps towards what you want in life.
yeah, if you have a partner, I would say, like, communicate with them, like, stuff that you desire out of your life, because that's basically, like, what we do. That is, like, our quote, unquote, "goal setting." Like, we just, like, communicate, like, what, I don't know, our ideal life will be like in 5 years and stuff like that, and, um, yeah, I guess you're one to, like, actually put in the work to do stuff. So I will say, like, I won't take credit for putting things in order, because, like, you kinda do that. If it was just up to me, I feel like I'm one to, like, take a step back and just be like, "Oh, do I want this to change? Do I even wanna, like, get out of my comfort zone to do this?" Like, for example, like this podcast.
Hmm.
You you know, you have, like, RV life in mind, and well, we do.
Yeah.
And you were kinda like, "Well, how are we gonna get there? Like, what are we gonna do? Because we both have these jobs and, like, we can't really leave and stuff." And then you thought of this podcast and you made it happen. And same with, like, the house and stuff. Like, I don't know, when we got offered, like, the land, for me, I feel like if it were just up to me and you weren't this, um, doer,
Okay. Good
if you
word.
weren't this doer
Yeah.
and it were just up to me, I feel like I would just be like, "Oh, that sounds tough." You know?
Sounds hard.
It sounds hard. Like, I like living in our cozy condo and, having this 600 square foot condo and not really changing our lives.
Mm.
But so I feel like you can take credit for that and putting stuff in order and,
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like any like set goal or anything. I guess the goal is like RV life. How do I get to RV life? Okay, I got to create different sources of revenue outside of having to go to a brick and mortar store. So I'm just always open. And then I guess just like consistency, like you find something and then you got to like consistently work at it, like consistently learn, consistently develop the skill. And I don't know, just small, consistent steps to keep building towards what it is that you want.
Mhm. Yeah.
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 Good luck with your goals, everybody. All right, next one. How did you name the show? Still catching up, almost there. So in case you did answer this, I'm sorry. Right now I'm on episode 63. How do we name the show, Teresa? I guess that's me. How did I name the show?
You did name the show.
Honestly,
It's not the answer that you guys are hoping
No,
for.
I'm not good with names. I'm not good with picking names or anything like that. So, and this was like right at the beginning, like first time. I think this is like one of the first times I used ChatGPT. It's like one of the first times I was like, "Hey, Chat GPT, hey Chad, I'm looking
We
to
call him Chad.
yeah, I'm looking to start a podcast. This is what it's gonna go about. Can you give me 10 names of what you think would be good?" And one was like ThreadTalk because of all the different threads that are in the subreddits. And I was like, man, that kind of works. And then I was like, give me 50 more. And I went through like 100 different names. And I thought on it for like a week or two. And I just couldn't come up with anything better than ThreadTalk. So I was like, all right, that's what we're going with. Keep it simple. Try not to overcomplicate it. I had a
Yeah.
goal, and my goal did not revolve around the name. So
Mhm.
I just kept it simple and I pushed forward.
Yeah. Use your resources.
Exactly. All right, last one. I have a Q&A question for Teresa. Is, quote, point period blank a
Oh.
reference to something or a Canadian thing? I have only ever heard the expression point blank period, and when I Googled it, I only find point blank period. So I'm just wondering if it's a reference or a cultural difference, or if this is the Berenstain Bears situation.
So I don't actually know when I said point period blank because that is wrong.
Words are hard.
Words, I just fumbled my words, obviously.
Some cob on the corn.
Sorry, that hurt. Cob on the corn. Yeah, that was not intentional. I meant to say point period blank.
Yep. Thanks
not
for calling
point
us out.
blank period.
Thanks for calling Teresa out.
No, it's good to know because otherwise I wouldn't have known. Now I know going
Oh, you would
forward.
have kept saying it that way?
I don't know. Like,
Oh,
at least
okay.
now it's like in my head.
I'll still,
Point period. Wait, point blank period.
yeah.
Right?
Point period blank.
Now I'm getting confused.
Which one was it? It's a cob on the corn?
Cob on the corn. No, I don't think it's a Canadian thing. I think it's just a
Teresa thing.
yeah, Teresa thing. Words are hard.
Probably a Denver thing that rubbed off on Teresa.
Yeah, you get
I
your words
say
fumbled
words
a lot.
backwards. What the later word comes out before a lot in my sentences. It happens often.
Yeah.
Some cob in the corn.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Hope you appreciate it. We don't have any life updates for you guys, but maybe we'll have something for you guys next week. Okay. Bye.
Thank you all. Goodbye. And I don't know what my next move here is, or possibly. What did I just say? And I don't know what my next move here is. And I don't know what my next here. Oh my! Childbirth. Both.
Both.
Childbirth.